Well, good morning again from the Flying Can Ranch down in Cedar Creek Lake, Texas. Today I want to talk about something that just really had me frustrated. And believe it or not, I just made this observation. So, I'm going to talk about this Centerpoint scope. It's an illuminated scope. You can adjust it here, you can adjust it here, and you can adjust it here. Your illumination is green, 3 layers, red, 3 layers. And if I remember right, it tells you somewhere on here. I'll tell you real quick. Because it really doesn't tell you all the stuff about this thing. I'll tell you what I'm going to do before we get going. I'm not going to sit and read. I think the thing weighs about a pound and a half. This is a discovery I made. So here's some of the specs on the box. Now, bear in mind, I bought this the same time I bought my Ferris. But if we move to this side of the box, look at the calibers that this scope is reading out to. All these different calibers, like big, like 308, 223. I mean, there's no mention on here at all about air guns. Lesson we learned, because it was sold on Airgun Depot. So it's a Centerpoint scope. I mean, this thing goes from 223 to 300 Ultra Mag. So why are you selling me this as an air gun scope? So what I ran into with it with the Ferris is I put out like 75 pellets and I couldn't even see where I was hitting. So I said, man, I'm hitting really low or something. I put a big backdrop, everything. So today, what I did is I moved it over to my beam and chief. I got it all mounted up on there. It's a little difficult because if I leave it on there, I'm going to have to feed it for it, but I'm not going to leave it on there. I think it's going back. I did hit this can several times with 22 caliber, but the point is I'm having to aim just about here, and it's hitting here, and that is, as you can tell, maybe with the elevation all the way to the top. Give or take 4 or 5 clicks maybe, but pretty much all the way to the top. And that's at 65 feet. So I moved back. Oh, I'm sorry, that was much closer. That was more like about maybe, I'll range that off at about 40 feet. And I had to aim all the way to the top with the elevation completely maxed out to make these hits. So I went back to my 65 feet and I really had to put it right up here. I mean, right at the very top, maybe a little over. And you can see how low it's tearing out the can. So this is kind of a buyer beware video because I hadn't really read all that. I just got the manual thing out, kind of scanned it over, and went out the other night, got chewed up by mosquitoes, tried. And I told a wonderful friend of mine, I said, man, I'm not even hitting the backdrop. You know, once, twice, I think I caught it a couple times. So this morning what I did is I bottomed it all the way out and I was tracking where it was going through the water. Wasn't going to ricochet that bad. It was getting absorbed in the water and sweating like crazy. Mosquitoes were eating me up. And I kept jacking it up. So when I finally got hit in the can, I said, oh, hit it right at the bottom of the can. I just need to bring it up a little bit and move it up a little bit more. And then I just ran out of travel. So I had all my elevation completely to the max. I did make some adjustment right or left, that worked great. But if you're going to be looking for a scope for your air gun and you see this Centerpoint, don't get it because it's not designed for air guns. I'm just telling you right now, it's definitely not designed for springers. You know, because a lot of guys have tried using regular rifle scopes on springers and it destroys them. That's why I moved it over to my beam and chief. I said, well, it don't have as much vibration. I'll see if I can get somewhere. And I did, but a disappointing fact. So this scope was really made to kind of dance out at a long range, but with a very vastly different, you know, feet per second caliber type guns. So how it ended up in the Airgun Depot catalog, I don't know. But if you ever come across one, I would highly suggest do not get this for your air gun. Made it work, but I think if I went all the way back to my 30-yard range, I'd probably have to aim, I'm guessing an inch and a half over the top of that can to make contact. And it's still going to hit on the bottom. So nice scope. It's really well made. It's got a good field of view. I did have to buy this UTG, well, I had one, the UTG adapter to make it fit on the 11mm rail. So it goes from the 11 to the Weaver mount. But it's not an airgun scope. I'm just going to say it right up. Boy, everybody around here likes things with motors that buzzes or something. I just want to make airgun noise. But at any rate, as you can see though, like I pointed out on the box, this is just, they say it actually work on a muzzleloader shotgun too. But it doesn't say anything on here as far as calibers or whatever. 22, you know, 177. How this even got in their book, I don't know. It's a 60-20 by 50 magnification. The magnification is great. The view through it's great. Like I said, I have to lean my head way back to see the glass because the way this is mounted on this little rail, and I can't move the rail anymore, or I can't get to my loading port. So I just wanted to bring that up, that I did get it to work. But again, if you're looking for an air gun, I got the caps here somewhere. This is really nice, finger click elevation, you know, and the same thing with the windage. It's a nice scope. I'm going to tell you right now, it's a nice scope, but it's just not, you know, the caps go on good, and I really do have thread dyslexia today or something. Caps go on, they're very secure, everything holds, the illumination is great. I was very excited about it, but it's not designed for this gun. I mean, I made it work on this gun, but it's not really an air gun scope. And I was very disappointed on it. I paid a little bit more than I did for the Winchester, but the Winchester I put on the Ferris, I had it dialed in probably 10, 11 shots. I was doing what I wanted. Now I can tighten it up. But yeah, I'm definitely going to rip this. I got an email out to Pyramid Air looking for a return merchandise order, a little number I can put on my thing, and that was done on Monday. Still haven't heard from them, but it just ain't made for this, I'll guarantee you. Now I know some guys will say, well, think about your drop, big boy. Maybe if you move further back, it might be really great for long distance with what you got. I don't know, haven't tried it 30 yet. Maybe the pellet will drop enough that I can aim it right. Nah, I'd still have to give a pretty good elevation over the top of the can because the pellet drops. So neither here nor there. I just want to make you aware, if you come across this scope, it's in the catalog, and you say, well, that sounds pretty cool for the price, you know, because it is a good price, around 70 something. It's not made for air guns, period. It just is not. It looks good, feels good. For a Centerpoint, I think it's got a, well, I wish this guy would shut that thing off. He's not a mechanic. Oh, he's gonna try to get somewhere with it now. Okay, maybe he'll die up the road and stay there. At any rate, I just wanted to share that with you all. It's a fantastic scope. Maybe you got something bigger, cool beans, you know. But I'm hoping Airgun Depot gets a hold of me. We'll get this thing shipped back, do something else. I'd probably go with a UTG Hunter instead. I've got the Winchester on the other one, and I'm just going to leave it on there. And as soon as we get the rain to clear up and the mosquitoes quit eating me to death, because they have been tearing me up while I'm getting this done. But we'll get some shooting videos out, and we'll go from there. I've got another different mount coming in for my Hatson supercharger that I'd like to get that mount on my supercharger, and then put the bug, what do they call that thing, the bug blaster, the bug spotter, the bug killer, whatever, the UTG on there, and see how that performs on that. And then maybe get a UTG Hunter, don't know. We'll just see how it turns out. Just want to give you a heads up on it, and so you don't get trapped with that, end up with the same frustration, loss of money, whatever. And that's how we do it. That's how we do it at the Flying Can Ranch. I think I've lost a lot of blood. The mosquitoes are running around with it. That's how we do it at the Flying Can Ranch. Just want to let you know what I ran into with that. Keep people informed. We're going to move on from there. Later.